Sup nerds! Welcome back to my channel, guys! I am so excited for today's video. As you guys saw by the title, we'll be doing my April reading wrap-up. I was gonna say for the month of April, obviously. I'm so excited. First, if you guys like monthly reading wrap-ups, if you guys like all the nerdy things, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's just get started. We'll be talking about, if you guys don't know, we'll be talking about every single book that I read in the month of April. Y'all, I read 22 books. I thought last month was a lot. I think last month I read 19. This month I read 22 books. It was insane. I read a lot on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know why. It's just, first of all, I feel like Kindle Unlimited books always are a little bit quicker. But also I just was like, I don't know, going. A couple of series that were just so random that I was like, oh, let's check it out. Excuse me. Honestly, I read a lot of shorter books, so I could definitely understand how I got to 22. Like, realistically, if these were like normal sized books, they'd probably end up being like 15 books, which is still an amazing, which is still a large amount, like, which is amazing. But honestly, I don't know, I feel like it evens out though, because some of these books are huge. So, I don't know. We won't take the credit away. I read 22 books this month. Insane. So last month I tried this and I liked the way I did it, so we're gonna go over all the books that were on my TBR first, because I feel like I want to, you know, share that with you. I feel like that'll motivate me to kind of read and can be consistent about my TBR, because I'm making those videos and I want to make sure I'm updating you guys on the books that I read and giving you that priority. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go through those first. So first I did read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I loved this book. I did give it 5 stars, and y'all, I did not think I was gonna love this book. I thought I was gonna hate it, not gonna lie, but it ended up being so good. I did go back and forth. So like in the beginning I was like, then I was like, oh my gosh, then I was like, ooh, then I was like, oh my god, and then it did. Every other chapter I felt like it was changing, but then the ending, I was like, I love this. It was just like, it was like, honestly, like, it really, how do you explain that? Like, it's like, I don't want to say your traditional romance, but I felt like it was just like the roots of a good, corny, cheesy romance. And so like there are some added things that are like, I don't want to say unique, but like unique. That were like different. Obviously this is a big book, there's a lot going on, and that's what I do have to say, like, really does suck because I'm like, I wish this was like 150, 200 page less, and I would love it even more. But anyway, it's still, there are added things that are like fun or whatever it is, but like it's still super cute. Sorry, I keep changing stuff because whatever, it looks good like this. We'll keep it like this. Anyway, I really like this book, and I'm really glad that I read it. I'm really nervous to read the rest of them, but it's small town romance, and so I feel like you have to read the rest of them. But like, I've heard people, the second one is the worst one, and then I feel like the third one, people are like, I feel like both of them have mixed reviews, both of the next two. I think this whole series has super mixed reviews, but I do have to say I feel like the second one is hated more than the third one, so I don't know, but I'm nervous, but I'm excited because I also want to like just, you know, finish the trio. And then you meet all the guys who are in the next books, and I love it. I think it's so cute. Honestly, you meet all the characters who have the next book, I think, for the most part. I don't know, but I'm excited. That's all I'm trying to say. This was in a reading vlog. I did read The Ballot of Songbirds and Snakes. That was on my TBR, and I was not excited about it. I started this and I was like, no, but then I finished it and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I was so excited. I think I gave this 4 stars. Yes, I gave it 4 stars, and I thought it was just a good book. Like, it's hard to, like, for this to be an incredible whatever book, because it's like the Hunger Games, you know, but like without Katniss. But I think they did a great job, and I thought this book was just really good, so I'm glad that I read it. And I definitely recommend reading it if it's on your TBR and you're like not sure. I think it's worth the read. There were only 3 books I gave 5 stars, so Things We Never Got Over was one left. Wow, Things We Never Got Over was one of them. This next book is another one, and then there's one more, but like Goodreads, not Goodreads, my GoodNotes has you choose, like, the template that I have has you choose like a favorite book of the month, and I would have to say I think this is my favorite book of the month. That is House of Ash and Shadow by Leah Stone. Y'all, this book did something for me. I was obsessed, and I honestly like want to reread it because it was so cute, so much fun. You love it, and it's so unique. I've never read anything like this. I think it is so good. This is YA, but it is so incredible. It's so quick paced. I cried, I laughed, I don't know, I was scared, I was excited, like everything. I felt all the feels with this, and it was so good, and it's so quick paced. It's literally less than 300 pages, so quick paced. If you do not have this, you need this book. 5 bajillion stars. I did put this in a whole reading vlog, so I won't go into too much detail, but if you have not read it, you need to read this book. A lot of these are in reading vlogs, so I'm going to say that a lot, but I'm telling you that so that if you want more details or you want to see it like, oh, that would be cooler in a reading vlog, then definitely go check it out, because I can't give too much detail, because it's like this video would be hours long, you know what I mean? This is also in a reading vlog, but this is A Crown This Cold and Heavy by Stacia Stark. I like this book. I didn't love this book. I gave it, I ended up giving it 4 stars though, because the ending always gets me, and that's the thing with these books. I think she's consistently Stacia Stark from the first 2 books as well. Like, there'll be a part in the middle where I'm like, I need to finish this book, and then you get to the ending and it's like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, which I always have to give, like, you know, props for, because I think you end hot on a high note, that'll definitely change my feelings toward the book 100%. So I like this book. I like the series. I'm excited to finish the series. I think there's gonna be one more book that's coming out soon. I'm excited to finish it, but this is definitely like a fun series. I feel like so far it's like giving like a 4-star series in general, but I do like it, and I could see why so many people like it. I don't know if it's necessarily so many people, but I've heard a lot of people who like it, and I could see why people like it. I just think they're too long, genuinely. I said the same about the other 2 books, like cut 100 something books, and again, it's not that I don't like long books, but I like long books that feel short, you know? When they're that good, they feel short, but these feel long, and you're like, okay. Then I read Holly Renee, A Kingdom of Fire and Fate. I love this book so much. I thought it was so good, but I did give it 4.5 stars. I think it's like hard to be like, oh yes, this is a 5-star, you know what I mean? But other than that, it was, I mean, but like beside that, it's a great book. It's just so short and quick. It's fun. This is a whole series, but this is the 4th book in the series, but it's different characters than the other 3 books. And so I can see why other people don't necessarily love it, but I thought it was fine because I love these 2 characters, and you really want them to get their story and get their romance, and so it was perfect. It was very quick, very fun, and honestly, I wish at the ending, I wish the like epilogues were like a little bit longer. At some point, we also read A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. This one I gave 4 stars. I like this book. I think I have a lot of tabs in here. It was super cute, super fun. Sorry, I don't actually know where it was, but I read A Fate Inked in Blood. I liked it, didn't love it. I thought, oh, that's what I was saying, that I feel like it was just a little bit predictable. Like, you kind of knew what was gonna happen, which you enjoy it, but like, you kind of know. And so that's why I didn't give it 5-star, but I thought it was all around pretty good. Is it gonna be like a #1 favorite book or anything like that? No, but I do think if this is on your TBR or you're interested, it is really good, and I will be continuing the series whenever she comes out with the rest of the books. So that was on my TBR. And then we have Supernova by Marissa Meyer. I like the series a lot. You know, I just feel like they were definitely super hyped in my head, this series, because I thought they were going to be so good. And they are good is the thing. I just feel like they really are. It's just, literally is just kids running around with superheroes, and that's exactly what it feels like. But you know, it's very, like, I don't want to say corny. I mean, I don't want to say, yeah, I guess it's corny a little bit, but it's super fun, and, like, I love the superhero aspect to it. I gave this book 4.5 stars because I thought it was good. When you take it for what it is, it's very good. One of the few sci-fi series I've read, and so, it's a fun time. And I'm excited to see there's gonna be more. There has to be more. There's no way she would tease us with this ending if she was not gonna give us more. So I will be reading, like, the more, and I like Marissa Meyer's writing. I just thought the series was, you know, a good series. I don't think it was, like, great or life-changing or my favorite series. Like, I thought it was good, and I definitely say read it. I just think these books are also way too long. Again, I will reiterate, I don't mind a long book if it does not feel like it's dragging on. These feel like they're drag on, but it's fine. It's fine. That was all my TBR. And then I did read Professor Aster by Katharina Marr. I thought I wasn't gonna make this one, but I did finish it like close to the end here, and I freaking love this book. I thought it was so good as well. I have to say, like, obviously she has a bunch of newer books, so this one's a little bit older, and so I definitely think, like, there are some things that you're like, okay, that was, like, annoying, it was kind of weird, or, like, that was not the best, I don't know, best written, if you will. So I definitely think there are some little things. I think I also gave this 4.5 stars. But I just think the story all in all was super fun. It has really fun tropes because obviously Professor asked her, but also she's like nanny, and it's just like he's single dad. Like there's so many like check marks, and you're like yes, yes, yes. And so I love Catherine Mara, and I'm excited to get more books that are like these where they're like random but like still really good. So I'm excited about that one. And then last but not least, on my TBR, I did read Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This one, it was good. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was good. I just felt like, first of all, they kind of tease you with the next book, which is going to be also Single Dad, and I'm like, why am I reading this? Because I want to be reading that one, so I'm really excited for the next one. This one, I honestly, like, I read it, and I kind of forget, like, most of it. I just feel like it was fun. It was fun. I give it 4 stars. So don't get me wrong. I like the book. It was good for what it is. But it is also just like that very cliche kind of romance that you've seen 100 times before. Enemies to lovers. But it is cool because they are like interior designers or something like that. He's like I don't know, someone who builds stuff. So, like, it is unique. They have its unique aspects. It is small town, which is nice. And then you get some cameos from Mr. Cal and Alana from the final offer. So, like, it is, like, it has a lot of good components. I just feel like, all in all, it's just, like, okay. But again, if you take it for what it is, like a romance book, then it's a good romance book. 4 stars. I would recommend it if you guys are interested, if all of those other kind of things tick a lot of boxes. But I'm so glad that I read this because that means when the next book comes out, I can get it and read it right away. See, that's the trick. So I read 9 out of 10 books, which is great odds. I'm hoping to read 10 out of 10 this month for the month of May. But again, we'll see. So let's go in order. We're going to go in order from the books that I read, the rest of the books. So first I did read Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This one took forever, but I did kind of finish it right at the end of March. But I like this book. I don't love this book. I think it has a lot of good things. I gave it a 4 star. I just think it's massive for no reason. It's in third person. It claims to be YA, but there are some things that I just don't feel like were YA any. And so I was like, I wouldn't recommend this to like a young adult, genuinely, like a 16, 17, 18-year-old. I feel like it's just not, like, maybe 18-year-old, but like younger than that, I don't know. So it just was like kind of giving mixed signals. I'm interested to see what the next book will be like. I definitely won't like run out to buy it right away, but I am curious to see what happens at the end, because it ended up being a good story. I felt like though a lot of this book is so long, and a lot of the like everything you learn, which is a great first book in a series. I do have to say that because a lot of it you learn a lot of stuff, and then the ending is the action. But I'm like, there's like this much action to like this much book, and you're like, okay. Did I just really do that? I did just go through that. But, you know, I still gave it 4 stars. It's still good. And I still say, you know, read it if you're interested or if you slightly like that. Then I read some books from my TBR. Then I have to pop in a lot of pictures. Sorry. Praised by Sarah Kate. I don't know how to say that. I just wish I didn't read this book. It was fine. I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars. I went back and forth between 2.5 and 3 stars. Because it's just like, it was fine. If you know anything about this book, it is what it is, you know what I mean? And it does that well. It's just not something that I just shouldn't have read it. It just wasn't like, I don't know. Okay, and then I read Pucking Around by Emily Rath, and I really like this book. I did give it 4 stars, because I just thought it was interesting. I do have to say, I do feel like this a little bit, not corny, but she warns you when she's writing the book, and I appreciate this, because then you can definitely, you can't knock her points for it, because she warned me, she warned us. Right when you read the book, she's like, it's very insta-love, very, like, basically said is very corny, and so, you know what, she warned me, so I knew what I was getting into, so that's why I can give it 4 stars, because I knew what I was getting into, and it was just fun. This is not going to be for everyone, so definitely check out, I don't know if she has necessarily trigger warnings, but I know she has warnings on it, so check it out. Not gonna be for everyone, but I read that. Then I read some other books for my TBR. Oh, why am I didn't know I popping in a picture. I have it right here. Sorry. By Emily Rath. It's a monster, but this is one of those books that like kind of felt like very quick. There's a lot of point of views in this one, so it was nice. So I don't feel like it was it didn't feel obscenely long, you know? So I appreciate that. But then I did read Until the Stars Fall by Vanessa Rasinen. Another one I liked, didn't love. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I just thought it was a little bit too, like it wasn't very polished, I should say. I just feel like, I put in a bunch of tabs. There are a bunch of cute moments that are just like, you know, if you write the specific scene, of course it's going to be cute, but it's like, is it a well-written book? Like, not really, like, it's not going to be this new hyped, it's not going to be a new Fourth Wing fantasy series. Like, no, it was just very, like, underwhelming, I should say. Like, again, a lot of good moments, a lot of good things. I think it's enemies to lovers, or, like, I don't know, best friend's brother. I don't know. It was just, like, random tropes, which, again, it has a lot of good pieces, and obviously I have a lot of tabs, so there were a lot of cute things, or, like, important information that I was like, okay, I'm marking, but it's just all in all, wasn't very, like, crisp, you know? And so, this is a standalone, though, so if you're interested in just trying to figure, like, reading a standalone fantasy that's very, like, you know, cutesy, fun, but definitely gives you that, like, fantasy element, like, if you're trying to scratch an itch, this is not a bad one. It's not a bad book. It's 3.5. That's not bad at all, but I do have to say, like, this is not going to be my first choice of, like, fantasy romance, you know? Alright, then another few on Kindle. I did read Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. You can see what kind of kick I was on. Let's be for real. But I really like this book. I thought it was super fun. I think this is like, is it Beauty and the Beast? I've read a million Beauty and the Beast retellings, and I'm like, can we not? But this one obviously is not necessarily, it's very different than Beauty and the Beast. So basically, this girl, whatever, it's kind of similar to Beauty and the Beast, where she ends up like in this castle trading place with her father, blah 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 blah, but there are 4 princes who live in this castle who are all under the same curse, and so it's chaos, but it's so much fun. And so I did read that one. I gave it 4 stars. I don't remember why exactly. I know I read the next book too, so maybe in my head I'm liking it more. I remember liking the second book more, so I think maybe that's why I'm giving it such positive. I don't remember why I gave it 4 stars the first one, because I can't separate them now in my head, you know? Anyway, then I read Pucking Ever After, Volume 1 by Emily Rath. I'm trying to enunciate because it's a P there. But this is a little novella that comes after the first book, and I thought this was great, and I love that the people do this. I gave this 4.5 stars. Like, that's saying a lot, because I know it was just like, it answered not all the questions, but like all of the, like, you know, you think that this will happen eventually, it does happen, and you're like, this is great. It was such a fun time, and I love the little short. So I'm excited to see what else she comes out with. I have the next book already in the series, and I think there's another novella. I didn't read the first novella though, because I don't need to know the pre. I just want to know the now. And so I'm excited to see what other cameos these characters get and stuff like that. So anyway, that was super, super fun. Alright, then I read 3 books from the same series. This is the Boys of Belrose series. So they're all in a band, and I freaking love it. And so this girl basically, she goes through it. It was chaos. I don't even want to tell you, because honestly, read the series, go in blind, and you will love it. But she ends up with this band, and her ex is on the band, but also a new person who she really likes is on the band. Like, it's chaos, but it's so much fun. So I read Poison Roses, which is the first book. I gave that one 4 stars. I really liked it, but again, it was just kind of like the groundwork, you know, the groundwork to be built upon, and I do really feel like the other 2 built upon it. So the second one is Dirty Truths. That one I gave 4.5 stars. And then the third one I also gave 4.5 stars, which is Shattered Dreams. So I haven't read the 4th one yet. I don't know why. It's available on Kindle Unlimited. I just, for some reason, the way the 3rd one ended, I was like, oh my gosh, like, here we go again. Because I do feel like it was getting repetitive. So hopefully I like the 4th book. But I like this series. Like, it's a pretty good series, and you can get it all on Kindle Unlimited. Like, if you're just like chilling, you're like, I don't know what to read, give me something on Kindle Unlimited, this is a series for you, you know? Then I read Air Fire by Sarah J Maas. Look at all these beautiful tabs. I love this book so much. I also gave this one 4 stars. I still had to put House of Ashen Shadows my favorite book because I just loved it so much, and that one surprised me. I knew I would love this book because I've been loving the series, you know what I mean? So I was like, fine, it's fine. But I really did love this book. Again, 5 bajillion stars. This one obviously is just part of the Throne of Glass series, so I don't want to tell you really much about it because it's part of a series, and so there's not much you can say, but just know that I loved it. Alright, then like I said, I also read the second book from the Beast of Briar series. This is Woven by Gold by Elizabeth Helen. I gave this one 4.5 stars because I did really like it. I think it gets juicy. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? You want to know all the juicy teas, so it's fun. There's action, there's like fight scenes, there's like romance. Like, it has everything you want in a good fantasy romance series. And so, winning. I was obsessed. And I'm excited to finish that series. I can also get the next book, but I think the 4th book is not out yet. And so I'm like, maybe I should slow down. And so I don't know, we'll see. But I do have that. I read that. Alright, then I read The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. I really expected to love this. That's why I read it so quickly. I was gonna put it in a reading vlog, but it ended up being such a flop that I was like, I don't like, let's not. So this one I still gave it 3.5 stars. So let me stop. Let me not talk like it's a bad book. I just read her other series, like I was mentioning earlier, by Holly Renee, and I loved that series so much. So I had really high expectations, and then I saw a lot of people who had super high expectations about this book. And so that's why I was like really excited about it, but it ended up just being like good. Like, okay. Again, 3.5 stars is not a bad rating. But I do have to say, like, it's like this is gonna sound so bad, but you know, like fantasy romance books, enemies to lovers, that are like a princess, a runaway princess who runs into this guy who's on the opposite side as her kingdom, but she's like a secret. She doesn't want anyone to know about her being a princess. Okay, take that premise and you make if you have a book in your head that was incredible, that did it really well, think of that book and then think of the off-brand version of that book. That's what this is. It feels like just the off-brand. Like, it's good, but there are little things that you're like, what? And then it's such a short book, which I love that her books are so short. Like, I appreciate that. But when it's a case like this, they, like, meet instantly, and then they're like, I don't know. It's not even insta-love because it's really not, but, like, I just feel like it just ended up being weird. And so I feel like there was no development. No character development, no romance development, no developments. Then maybe that's what it is. So I don't know. I gave it 3.5 stars. It's not bad. And I feel like a lot of people will like it because it's very quick. But don't expect this again to be this like series that you're going to get into. And I feel like I saw so many people hype it up. And I was like, I don't know what you're reading. Someone said that, commented that on the reviews. They were like, 5-star who? Where? Why? And I was like, honestly, same. Like, no judgment, because again, I love Holly Renee's other series so much, and I know people who don't like that series, and so I'm like, it's just personal preference, but like for me, I gave it 3.5 stars. Okay, last but not least, I did finally finish the Natural series, so I did read the little novella. So I read the Bad Blood a while ago, but I read the novella 12, and I wish I didn't read it. You know, honestly, it does have like pretty awful good. It doesn't have awful, but it has like decent. It doesn't have the best Goodreads ratings. Honestly, I think it's like 3 point something, which is, again, it's not bad, but you guys know I said it a million times. It just is like not the best. And so I gave this one 3.5. I honestly could teeter on like a 3-star. It's just, I love all these characters so much that I like, that's what I appreciate about it, is that you get to see all these characters. Number one though, this is supposedly like 12 years in the future or something like that when they're older. None of them is it 12? Okay, maybe that's dramatic. Maybe it was like 5 or 6. It was a couple years in the future where they're older. I think it says it. She's 23, so maybe like 5 or 6 years in the future. But they still act the exact same. Like, they're not really older. Honestly, they are only older because the author said so. Like, you can't tell that they're older. So that was one thing. And then, that was like weird, but then also the chapters, so every chapter will go chapter, and then it would go like 11 years in the past for so and so, then it will do a chapter 11 years in the past for so and so, and that was annoying to me because I'm like, it's already such a short book. I don't really care about the years in the past. I really don't. And so I was like, honestly, it could have been a 5-star without those like jump backs, because the story was so good, and I really loved the like the case she brought to them. It was really cool. It was really unique. Of course it was like like how convenient, and I don't want to say convenient because it was like really bad, but like it was convenient that they saved one. It's a case for with one of the girls that they saved, like how convenient. It was like a girl you saved and whatever. Of course that was corny cheesy, like that's not realistic, but it was still fine. And so I feel like you could get past all those things. But then when like half the book is 11 years in the past, I didn't read half of them because I was like, there's really no point, and I really don't think it changed anything for me if I knew that information or not. So I didn't read that, and that's why I was like a little bit, that's why I had to give it 3.5 stars, and I could see why it's kind of like a lower rating. But I really hope, I mean, I wouldn't even mind if she came out with some more novellas in this, or like some other books with like other, and not other characters, but like these characters, but like with other cases. And I would love that because honestly, these are so good. I could see this being like a 20-25 book series, not a series, but like a set of cases. Like that would be so good. Like I would eat that up. So I love these books and I definitely will reread them, but the novella was a little bit lackluster. The ending of the month definitely was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I was like, do not put me in a slump, don't do it. So right now I was, for a few days I was like, there was nothing I wanted to read, nothing was like exciting. I started a bunch of books, did not read them, and so I was nervous I was in a slump. But then I started to read some of my months on my some of my books on my May TBR, and so now I'm getting more excited, so I'm like, good. I think it's just the type of book I'm trying to read, because I know like I started Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, and I know like that's gonna be good, so like I'm really excited about it. So maybe that's what I needed, like some really good books. So I don't know. All right, that is all the books I read this month. I know it's a longer video, but I read a lot of books. It's not my fault. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what books you read down below. Did we read any of the same books? And that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, nerds.